Check this out. Mimics like zinc, but this is steel.
Oh, gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to show you how to practice the leak-free double fold skylight flashing. And this is a curb mount skylight flashing. So you can practice these in your shop. You can set up the roof mock-up like I have here on any table, really. We use 2x6 mainly, but yeah, this is how we start laying things out. It's just a 45-degree. I'm marking the height of the seam right now. So it's a 1-inch male seam that I am drawing in. And I'm trying to use as little amount of tools as possible. So when you're up on the roof, you don't have to carry a whole crap load. You can also prefab these things in your shop as well. You usually put a screw there. Counter flashing on the skylight usually covers those. So we have the pocket formers here. That 45-degree bend gets bent inward, and then your 90-degree upstand gets bent outward for that kind of accordion effect we have going on. And then I'll crease this male upstand right now just to kind of get things flowing in the right direction. When you start making these pocket folds, you'll start to understand that pre-creasing and giving the metal memory will help you along the process. So I'm adding in a male seam allowance to the 45-degree line that I put in earlier. And then what I'll do is I'll extend those allowance lines up the 45 like I'm doing here. And then I connect them freehand with a little radius line, connecting the two 3/8 male allowances together with that radius. You see how I went from the top of the male on the flat to the top of the male on the 45? That's very important. So you can get your curve snips out here. If you don't have curve snips, just try your best not to leave any burrs when you're cutting, when you're making this cut, because a burr is technically the start of a tear. And you don't want that at all. You want that smooth cut surface going along this raw edge. Very important. Like I said, the burr is the start of a tear. So I'll just continue bending on my layout lines. I'm clearly overkilling it with the size of tongs here, but I couldn't find my 3-inch hand tongs, so you use what you got. Also, trying to limit the amount of tools up on that roof. Okay, so now we're working some finer details. So I get the smaller folders in there, and then I just finish it by literally hand bending it around the corner and forming it. Okay, so bringing the side panel in, or the secondary finishing panel, or the female panel. I'm going to mark it up by pushing against and taking my marker. You can use pencil. I just use marker so it was easier to see, but I couldn't get my marker in there, so I had to finish this off with pencil. But in the end, you can see it pretty good. So you guys get a good idea of where the marks need to be. And then I add a 3/8 allowance to that, cut that out. Now we have our female piece prepped with the line. And then I just prep this bend at 90 degrees with my pliers there, connect with a pair of clamps, and you're ready to start forming. So I didn't have my seaming block, but my PVC hammer works just as good. Again, limiting the amount of tools on the roof. This is a way to do it. So yeah, I'm just folding this first edge, this first fold over, or this single fold over, keeping it as tight as possible. So I did go big. You can always cut it down, no problem. It's easier to cut it down than to add it back on. And I'm just gonna take it over. Take your time here. Always remember, keep that tight. Keep that fold over tight to the male seam beneath it. So I'm gonna take my seaming hammer here and just kind of get it curling inward. You don't have to get it right tight, because you can finish once it's curled inward enough, you can finish it with the folders or with the pliers here. So you get that. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but don't tear the metal. Like, don't get greedy with the pressure from the pliers, because you can tear the metal. That's why it's important to use high quality material. And then you finish off with your uh, I call it a spade anvil, but you're gonna light me up in the comments for calling it a spade anvil. Well, that's what I call it. Uh, it's nice just to slide in there and get that initial single seam folded over. I wanted to really keep the viewer in mind here. I lit this thing up with a set of shop lights that I had, just so you guys can really see in like high definition detail what's going on. And like, for transparency purposes, I want to show you guys everything. The metal's a little dirty, but really it doesn't matter. I mean, we're not going for prize winning presentation here. You guys are really just here to see the process of this fold, and then use it for practicing in your own shop. So we're turning this secondary fold over on this seam right now. I have EPDM rubber there. It's nice to use between the tooling and the painted surface of the metal. Okay, so these are double fold tongs, and they're set at a 90 degree, so you can grab straight and get into these tight places. These you need to have these tools in your toolkit, without a doubt, just for this purpose alone. There's multiple purposes for it, but it works so good in this situation. And then now that I've started it, I have the whole seam just ready to go. I can start bringing it around, finishing that double fold. I'll start down here locking things in, just so it doesn't really want to move on me. And I'll just start working my way up. I try these over and over and over again. This was very frustrating to do my first, you know, 10 or so, trying to get inside here, but I learned over time that you can kind of bend that out to get the pointy end of your seaming hammer in there. And as you're hitting it, it's drawing it in, and you just want to get it started. We're not going for flat, because now you can get your pliers in there and just bring it around and getting it over. Once again, you're not finishing with these pliers, because you would just leave dents everywhere. You're just getting it far enough over where we can get our spade anvil in there and finish off with the PVC mallet, because you want that flat surface of the PVC mallet finishing things here. So we'll get the spade anvil. Yeah, you can spin it around, maybe a little bit easier. I'm straightening out the seam here. Do I use the spade? Maybe I don't even use the spade anvil. You should probably use the spade anvil. This can leave dents. I wasn't going for perfection here. Just wanted to really show you guys. But hey, less hammers on the roof, the better. It came out fine, you know. But using the PVC seaming block hammer would probably be a little bit nicer here. But whatever you feel comfortable with, you feel more comfortable, you have more control with the recoilless dead blow here, then feel free. Whatever tips your boat, as they say on the East Coast. All right, so I'll just grab a ruler. This is acceptable practice. You should, just to really, if you're pounding on this thing, use a flat surface in between, and just some close-up shots of the finish. See right in that corner, you want it loose. You don't want to pound the hell out of that inside corner, right? But keeping everything nice and tight along this edge, nice and clean sweep, nice double fold. And here, I really wanted to show you guys how durable this detail is. So it's kind of cool. Like when you're practicing these things at your shop, you can disassemble and pull apart the whole detail. Yeah, really super easy setup, right? You know, a 2x6 on end. Also, you got to remember this is for a curb mount skylight only, not a deck mount skylight, so don't get too confused. But yeah, now it's essentially one piece of metal, right? This joint is incredibly strong. It's sewn together like you would like leather or something, right? It's keeping itself together, right? It's just kind of heating it up just to show you guys, but it's nice to see the internal design of it when it's finished, and that's something you get to do when you're practicing in your shop. It's kind of cool. In this part of the video, I wanted to show the versatility of it. So let's say you're at the bottom of the skylight and the water is running down the roof, right? So this would be at the front nose, and then this would be at the top of the skylight. So this would be the back pan. So this same scene can be used on both of those corners. And right, you can prefab this corner and send step flashing with it, right? You can prefab the bottom half. Anyways, thanks for watching.